up until the point, and this is where it comes with the innovation and being able to study like revolutionary histories and things that have happened, and also know that we have to come up with what fits for us here and now. um I'm definitely about creating alternatives, but also we're not alternatively ready to go to war. You know, that creates another layer of strategy that's needed,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
they can't leave well enough alone.
Mm-hmm.
It been Black Wall Streets and people who have
Mm-hmm.
prospered and have been bombed
Mm-hmm.
for being great
Yep.
and being, period.
And to me, we already at war, but we in a cold
And
war.
that's true. And that's true. And so
So
that's why I say another thing is like we had to be willing to get involved. We had to be willing to get involved with the police. If somebody tell you that they want to be the police and they in your family, like my brother, one of my brothers wanted to, try out for the police force. People was like, no, fuck the police. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Like we had to, you know how people say ACAB, a cop, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like all cops are bastards.
Mm-hmm.
What if it was like all cops are black
Mm-hmm.
women? All cops are black guys who are cool as fuck. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like we can't even. And I'm not saying you just automatically like being black is not the standard. To be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
because that word is very charged, and that identity is so politicized. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But we all have African heritage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever makes people less confused, the better.
Yeah.
I just got off on a tangent, but yeah, I think we should also go by African heritage. Let's fucking show them the shit that we saw downtown the other day. I was like, what? Shout out to Anti Police Terror Project. That's another Bay Area organization. And sis ran for fucking mayor, and I wish she would have been the mayor. I fucking changed my address so I could vote for her as the mayor.
Cat Brooks.
Bruh. You stay putting on for Anti Police Terror Project.
She do.
And so I noticed that was in the corner of this, but I was like, do you see this fucking sign? Make it big for the people.
All right, we'll make it big for the people.
Thank you. You're so technically savvy.
Thank you.
For noticing.
Mm-hmm.
For appreciating you.
Mm-hmm.
For loving your brain.
Mm-hmm.
For loving your Oakland mind.
Yep.
For benefiting heavily off your Oakland mind and not taking it for granted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think it's a 0. Jane, we're gonna keep being at you about this shit.
Okay.
We're gonna keep being at. Babe, look at the thing before you do that.
No, I know where it's at. Because it's really big. It's huge, this picture.
Oh, it's humongous.
Yes, humongous.
So basically, it's a like alternative to 911.
Mm-hmm. And it's actually Bay
Go
Area
all the way
specific.
up, please, instead of keep doing that.
Oh no!
Look, see.
I'm so mad. I freaking pushed it all the way to the corner.
I'm like, babe. Okay, there's a billboard, and it's about an alternative phone number. I mean, go all the way to the bottom before you make it hecka small, please.
Okay.
There it is.
Technologically savvy.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. To get that stuff.
No, you don't need to make it hecka small.
Actually needs to be bigger.
Yeah, for the people in the side, the people in the back, which is me. Non-police crisis response line: mental health, domestic violence, substance abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a couple hours, a couple days a week that you can call. More than a couple.
Mm-hmm.
From Friday night to Saturday morning. APTP, Anti-Police Terror Project. So I was like, wow, a phone number you can call in Oakland when it's mental health shit going on, substance abuse shit going on, domestic violence shit. That's huge. That's a big.
Mm-hmm. And see, these are the kind of things, right, politically, that can save a life. All right. if it's a mental health crisis, if it's domestic violence, if it's substance abuse, and these are all things that people have been killed for, okay, outright killed for, because the police are not trained to handle these situations. The police are not trained to respond to these situations. The police are oftentimes going to shoot first in most situations, in too many situations.
Whether even shoot, they're going to fucking body you on the floor. They're going to be like,
first,
wow, they're going to double suplex you,
before they try and figure out what's going on.
WW fucking E, okay? I was assaulted as a teenager, and what they fucking do? Sit down, shut up, while I talk to this white bitch that just slapped me in my face when I was a teenager. This is a real story, okay? Mm-hmm. You can tell that I'm still upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even that. Okay, I'm sorry. It's levels to it. Like, shooting and murdering somebody is the fucking utmost shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or maybe beating the fuck out of them like Rodney King. I don't know which is worse. I mean, if he would have died, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're all bad enough.
But, like, let's not pretend like they don't act hella fucking cruel and hella harmful to people just by fucking jumping you with 3 other people. Exactly. Like, that's hella traumatic, even if you don't fucking die.
Exactly.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
And the beauty about the non-police crisis response line is that people who are actually trained to handle mental health situations, people who are trained to handle domestic violence situations, people who are trained to handle substance abuse situations, they will come and they will help you to diffuse the situation. These are not people who are coming with guns, all right? These are not people who are coming with weapons. These are people who are coming with training and specialization in dealing with crises. Okay?
And mental health awareness.
And mental health awareness. And training, specific training around things like trauma, around mental health emergencies, all right? And also substance abuse emergencies that could happen, such as overdose, and how to be able to deal with people who are having a mental health breakdown, or who are having an episode due to substance abuse.
Or the kind of addiction that presents physically. Because also, let's be real about the shit. We all have things that we are addictive about. Some of that shit just shows itself in a way that doesn't fit how we think you're supposed to look when you standing on the street.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay? Some of it shows up as more weight. Or red eyeballs.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Or shit you do in secret and hide very well on your computer screen.
That's true.
That you really need to go to fucking jail for.
Mm-hmm.
Or go somewhere else for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? One thing on here that I was like, domestic violence. I was like, domestic violence? Okay, but I ain't never been in a domestic violence situation.
I have, and
he gave me some insight that I didn't have, and you know what I did? Shut the fuck up and listen.
Yeah, because being a man, specifically being a black man in a domestic violence situation, 9 times out of 10, if it comes to the police coming, that's my ass. Whether I did anything or not, that's my ass. All right, and sometimes, and what I was telling her is that sometimes, even in the domestic violence situation, people don't call the police because they don't want their significant other to be hurt or to be killed. And people are afraid to call the police for that reason. And so they wind up dealing with domestic violence. And that's really a lot more common, I think, than a lot of us realize and recognize. Because domestic violence, I think it's very common, but I don't think it's very common to be talked about, right? And to be expressed. And so that's one of the issues that people have had when dealing with domestic violence situations, right? Is being afraid to call the police because of what will happen. And so this gives them an option to be able to call somebody who can de-escalate the situation, but can also protect them in that situation.
So, speaking of, there's some other places I would like you to do some organization name dropping that even you work for. Like the one who you did a website and there was like this emergency number that popped up, but then you click something and it disappears or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's an automatic exit button. That's Shade. So I helped design a website for Shade Collective, or Shade, the organization,
and
and also
progressive transitions, and a lot of other people,
and
missing.
Freed Collective.
Oh.
And they deal with people who have been formerly trafficked. They deal with people who are having mental health issues. They deal with trauma and domestic violence. And I'm very close to that situation because of that. You know, I've had specific trauma training myself to even be able to work with the organization. You know, even though I'm not dealing with clients on a day-to-day basis, I still took the training to be able to be informed myself about how I show up in these spaces, the kind of language I use, kind of thinking that I have when I'm showing up in these spaces, you know. And again, I don't even work with people directly, and I've had the training. And so I work with these organizations and I support these organizations, and I get information about what's going on in the field and in the political sphere, but also on the ground with what's going on with people. And that's how I learned that people are not calling for domestic violence because of that reason. And I already know women specifically, women are not calling
because he know why black guys don't be calling.
Especially
the black ones.
Exactly, because if I was scared. I was in a domestic violence situation and I was scared to call. All right, I'm the one being abused. I'm just like, I can't call because they're gonna beat me up. They're gonna take me to jail. It's gonna be bad. Like, I'm not gonna be able to see my kids. You know.
I see my daddy go through the same thing.
And
if he wasn't bleeding, he would have been cuffed. Okay.
Cuffed.
Because the girl had bruises from him restraining her pale arms.
Mm-hmm.
But he had blood.
Mm-hmm.
They was like, well,